All right, we are going to talk about coping skills, which are things we can do that help us better manage our stress. This first part of the presentation is going to focus on positive lifestyle factors people can use to help better manage their long-term stress. So these are things that we can incorporate into our daily routines. The second part of this presentation, which we're not doing today, we will do it another day, focuses on relaxation techniques. So these are things that we can use in any given moment when we are feeling a really high moment of stress or anxiety. So our body is in that fight or flight mode. And then these relaxation techniques can help our body come down out of that heightened adrenaline and high cortisol state. The best way to not feel stress is to avoid situations that cause you stress. That is the easiest way. However, we can't always do that. So other tips would be to say no to stressful situations. If a new activity is going to add to your stress or mound your plate too full, use the refusal skills to say no. Manage your time by planning ahead. Time management is such a good skill to have for life in general, but also for helping you manage your stress. Think positively. So we can't control everything in our lives, but we can control how we respond to events. So having a more positive outlook limits our stress by shifting our perception or reframes our perception and the way we react to a stressor. So we are changing the way we view that stressor. And so instead of viewing it as something negative, we view it as something positive, and that can help us feel less stressed. And then obviously avoiding substances like tobacco, alcohol, and other drugs. Using those substances in an attempt to relieve stress actually does harm the body and usually causes more stress. Other strategies we can use is we can seek support when we need it. Sometimes we just need to vent or talk about how much stress we are feeling. We don't really need somebody else to solve our problems. Maybe we're looking for that feedback, but sometimes just talking about it can make us feel less stressed. Be more assertive, so let others know what you need in a time of high stress in order to make it less stressful. For example, there's always a trimester or a week during the trimester where everything is due. You have like 3 projects due or 2 tests that all are due on the same week. If you are overwhelmed, ask one of your teachers if you can have like a 2-day extension. I would give it to you. I'm sure a lot of people would give it to you. And then lastly, manage your time better. Time management skills help us use your time more efficiently so you don't spend all your time doing the things that you don't want to do but you have to do, and you have more time to do the things that you actually like doing. Time management skills are such a great life skill to have. So some of you have great time management skills, but if you're someone who maybe needs to work on this, here are my strategies for you. Number 1, don't be afraid to say no. It's okay to say no to something, especially when you have a lot on your plate in that moment, and that's just going to overflow your plate. So for example, if I had a friend who asked me to go to a movie and I had no time to do this, the day they asked me to go, ask for a rain check. Ask them if another time works for them. You're too busy right now. Can we go next week? Find your productive time. Are you a morning person or are you a night owl? What time in the day do you feel like you are most motivated to work on things? For me, my productive time is in the morning. I have my first cup of coffee. I am awake. I'm ready to go. I want to get things done. Boom, boom, boom. When I get towards the afternoon, I get tired. And so especially after lunch, I lose motivation as I go through my day. So I want to do all the stuff that I have to do in the morning when I'm most motivated to do them. For you, that productive time might be at night. I had a student teacher a couple years ago. Her productive time was between 8 and 10 p.m. Me, I'm going to bed because I'm tired. But that was what worked for her. So you got to figure out when in the day, what period of time in the day are you most efficient and most motivated to work on things you have to get done, and then do those things during that time if you can. Do a little bit at a time. So if you have something that is one big task, like a big project, break it into smaller steps. That can make it seem more manageable and help you feel less stressed. And then plan ahead. Budget your time correctly, especially on those tasks that we do routinely or on a regular basis. For example, if you do math homework every day, figure out how much time it takes you to do math homework and then budget your time accordingly. Don't get sidetracked. If I had a penny for every time my phone distracted me, man, I'd be rich. When you are working on things that you have to do, even if it's just for a small amount of time, like 20 minutes, put things that are going to be a distraction away. Our phones are a big distraction, including for me. Turn off the notifications on your phone, put it on Do Not Disturb, put it in another room, flip it upside down, and don't touch it for however long you're going to work on it. If you need to start really small too, you can use the 10-5 rule. Work 10 minutes, check your phone for 5 minutes, or do something that you like to do for 5 minutes. Come back, work for 10 more minutes, check your phone for 5 minutes, or whatever that thing is. If you can have sustained periods of time, even if it's only 10 or 15 minutes at a time, without distractions, you will find yourself taking less time to do things that you have to do. Get a good night's sleep. Just like our bodies, our brain also needs time to rest to perform at its peak. When we don't get enough rest at night, our brains don't work as efficiently and don't work at their peak performance. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination is very tempting, but it also can be very damaging. Putting everything off to the end can make us feel really overwhelmed when things pile up. So, do things right away if you can. Try to break the habit of procrastination. And then lastly, make a to-do list every day. I cannot emphasize enough how good a to-do list is for time management skills, whether it be a digital one or paper pencil. For me, I make a to-do list every day. I have a Post-it note on my computer background on my desktop on my computer that I have a list of things that I have to get done each day, and that in itself makes me feel less stressed, because part of the stress for me is trying to remember all the things I have to do. When I write it down on a to-do list, I got it right there. I don't need to remember what I need to do. I can just go down my list and do the most important things first. And also, the other thing about making a to-do list is when you cross things off your list or delete them, that gives you a little hit of dopamine to your brain, which makes you feel really, really good. Most importantly, never schedule your day or week so full of work and study that you have no time for yourself, family, friends, or your larger life. So make sure you still schedule time to do the things that you actually like to do. We can also adopt healthy lifestyle factors that we practice on a regular basis that will help us feel less stressed. Getting enough sleep at night can help us face the challenges and demands of the next day, and using those time management skills can also help us get enough sleep at night. Exercising on a regular basis is also a fantastic idea. Regular physical activity can help release some of that pent-up energy that we get when our fight or flight response is activated, and it also helps you sleep better too. Eating a healthy diet, having a healthy and balanced diet, and drinking enough water helps to reduce the effects of stress. On the flip side of that, poor eating habits can contribute to stress, causing weakness and fatigue and a reduced ability to concentrate. Two of those substances that increase the effects of stress are caffeine and sugar. That's why we say you should reduce consuming those things or products with those things in them. Beverages high in caffeine and sugar, like coffee drinks or energy drinks, can actually increase the effects of stress. Practicing gratitude. Gratitude is such a great regular practice, or being grateful or thinking about ways to be grateful in one's life. There are lots of different ways to practice gratitude. It can be as simple as thanking someone for holding a door open for you or doing something nice. It could be something more formal, where every day at the end of the day or every morning you wake up and you write down 3 things that you are grateful for in your life, or 3 good things that happen throughout your day. There's lots of ways to practice gratitude. And that one in particular is not only good for reducing stress, but it's also great for helping to reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. And then the last one I've already mentioned a couple times, avoiding substances. Those make the effects of stress worse and typically cause more problems. It's also important to make time for fun and relaxation. Sometimes we get so busy and we have so many things to do that we do actually have to schedule some relaxation time. This can be time to connect with others. It can be time by yourself where you do something you enjoy every day, but make sure you carve out that time for yourself. Some healthy ways to relax and recharge are things like going for a walk, spending time in nature, calling a friend, releasing tension with a workout, writing in a journal, playing with a pet, reading a good book, listening to or playing music, and watching a funny video. So by including these self-maintenance and stress management strategies into our daily routine, not only does that help us manage our stress, but that also helps us build those resiliency skills, which means we're able to adapt more effectively and recover from disappointment, difficulty, or crises. And we have the skills that we need to handle those challenges in healthful ways.